Hello, and welcome back to Productive Dragons channel, where we do unboxes, plan with me's, and other things. And if you like that, please consider subscribing. Today, I will be going over what I read in December 2022, if I met my goals, and what my TBR looks like for January. So let's start this off with, did I meet my goals? The goals were, and I kept switching them up. I said read 22 books in 2022. Well, I completed that in March. Then I jumped it to 60 books. Then I completed that. I forget when I completed that. That's not correct. And then I made it 80 and I completed it in May. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do 160 books. It was 13 books per month. Seemed to be working. Read every day was another goal. Read the book of the month pick in the month it was picked. All right. Out of those, 2 were successes. 1 was a failure. I did my the only challenge that I signed up for, which was the Buzzworthathon. I successfully did that one. So, without further ado, I will tell you that I read a total of 365 days, so I read every day. I had a total of 174 books by the end of the year. For the month of December, I read 14 books. So let's start off with what I read. First off, it was Meddling Kids by Edgar, Cantro. I read that one. This was originally supposed to be on my November TBR, but I didn't make it. So this one I moved because I still wanted to read it. I was going to use it for the Nostalgic November board. But I didn't get to read it in November, so I read it in December. It was really good. I gave it a 4 stars. I had a physical and audio book from the library. The audio book was done by Kayla Garcia. It's a fiction horror. Love it. It kind of almost was, as it looks like dealing with Scooby-Doo. And it kind of did in some ways. Not really taking off from them, but it was kind of interesting how it was. And where it went. I really enjoyed it, so this one I'm going to be looking out for to buy. Next one was Freaks by Brett Riley. I had the audio. It's a YA horror. It was read by PJ Morgan. I got this book because on NetGalley I got approved for the second book in the series. Well, I figured need to read listen to the first before I listen to the second. So I gave this one a 4 star. It was actually interesting. I actually enjoyed it, which was, something I didn't think I would enjoy, but, it ended up being pretty good. I can't wait to get to the second book. Hopefully that will happen in January. We'll see. Next, I read The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. Got it from the library. It's a horror. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I wasn't that thrilled with it. I was having difficulty wanting to read it, but it was okay. I've had better by T. Kingfisher. I mean, this is just one. I'm going to still keep looking because I do enjoy their writing. So we'll have to see about that, but that's not one that I'm really looking to grab in my library. Next book, The Woman in the Library by Shillar Gentel. I'm probably mispronouncing the woman's name. I'm very sorry. It was read by Catherine Lentrell. I actually own this. I believe I got it on an unplugged box, I believe, and but I also got the library audiobook. It's a mystery. I actually enjoyed it. It was 4 stars for me. I'm sure I've seen some people really hate this book, and some people, they're okay with the book, but it's not something thrilling. So, but all in all, it was still a good book. Next book I got from the library and just recently purchased was Over the Woodward Wall by A. Deborah Barker. I actually got I got the audiobook. It's a middle grade fantasy. It was read by Heath Miller, I believe. And it was a 4 star. I really enjoyed this. I ended up finding this on Book Outlet and got both it and the next book in the series along the Seawide Sea. Try this again. The next book is Along the Saltwise Sea. So I can't wait to try that one out. So yeah, I enjoyed this. So I'm glad I got the physical. I can't wait to get into the second book. So that was a 4-star. Next book I got was The Fallen Hero, a Dragon Warrior novel by Katie Uzo. I got the physical and audiobook. It's a middle grade fantasy. I read the first book in the series, The Dragon's Warrior, and I couldn't wait to get to the next book in the series because I enjoyed it. So I know there's going to be another book because of the way this one ended. It seems like it'll be another book, but I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Next we have Monstrous. This was volume 1, Awakening, by Margie LaRue. I got this from the library. It is a graphic novel and it's horror. It was quite interesting. It's a 3.5. I've actually read some of Margie Lou books, so I was curious about this one thing, and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to go further with this. I mean, I gave it a 3.5, but I'm not sure. I'm kind of up in the air on it, so we'll have to see if I decide to continue. Next, I read Lucky Girl by M. Rickard. I got this from Nightworms. Believe it was last month's book. It's a horror. It was okay. It was a 3.5. It was interesting. Really quick read, but all in all, an interesting read nonetheless. Next, I listened to Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I gave that a 3 stars. I'm not big on the historical fiction route. I got the audiobook from the library. I just was like, it was okay, but it's not something that was like, oh, I've got to have this. That didn't happen. So I know it was a winner of the Goodreads in its category, but I was like, not really that fond of it. However, I say I don't care for historical fiction. However, I also got Tracy Cross Rootworks the month of December from Nightworms, and I absolutely love this. And this is a horror book. However, it is based in 1889, and I actually enjoyed this. This was really interesting. So I know this is, according to this, is the Conjuring series book 1, so I'm looking forward to seeing the next books out of this, but I gave this a 4 stars. Then I read Escape Room by Maureen Scofield. I'm probably mispronouncing the names. I own this one. This is a young adult horror. I also gave it 4 stars. This was enjoyable. Then we have Fright Night by another book by the same author, and this is a young adult horror book. These two ended up being really good. It was 4 stars for me on this one. Next, I listened to The Tropic of Serpentines by Maria Brennan. This is also a audiobook. It is another historical fantasy kind of deal, and I enjoyed it. This was number 2. I've read the first book. I don't remember the last time I read it, but it was a while back. And I wanted to get back into these. So yeah, Katie Reading is the one who does this. I gave it 4.5 stars. And last but not least, I listened to Dark Harvest by Norman Patridge. It was read by Victress Adam, and it was a 4 star. I absolutely enjoyed this. This was very interesting horror, and I enjoyed what he did with it. So I'm curious to see what goes next. I wouldn't mind owning this one. So now I'm going to take you to Past Me when I do the new TBR for January. Hello from Past Me. I am showing you what I got for my December 2022 TBR Tic-Tac-Toe. We got Bad Cover, which I used one of my rewards from November about using one book from the previous month. I used scan lines for that one. Star Series, I use Freaks. Beautiful cover was The Fallen Hero. Green cover I changed with another reward, which was from September. Swap a prompt. So I swapped it with Buzzword, which was the Twisted Ones. Two and more POVs. I use Meddling Kids. Continuous series, I used The Tropic of Serpents. Over 500 pages, I used the freebie reward. And the last one was a Goodreads Winners 2021 Plus. And I used Malibu Rising. So that means I have 6 rewards that I get to do. We are now up to 18 rewards. So let's go ahead and do that. And the first one is a 7. Friend can read a book for you. 1, which I believe that's freebie. Yep. Generate a 3. Okay. Swap a prompt. Okay. 13. I get a shopping spree. Next one is 3. I think we just did 3, so let's do another one. That's 12. That's another shopping spree. And 14. Let's see what 14 says. A mood read. Okay, so my rewards for from December TBR is a friend can read a book for you. Freebie, swap a prompt, shopping amount in 175. This is the next one over, and a mood read. All right. So I'm doing this a little differently. I decided to use a random wheel change, and what will happen is that each time I will save it. That way I get new prompts at all times. There will be no repeat prompts. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and spin. This is 47. Takes place at sea. Next one. Let's hide that slice. I'm going to also hide them. That way I cannot redo them. They will no longer be on there. All right. 84. So try that again. Purple cover. 76. Someone else's TBR. Ooh. That's going to be an interesting one. $120. Ooh, horror. Really hoping to get that in October, but I guess I'm going to get it sooner. Oh well, not a problem. $83. Continuous series. I think I'm going to play that one again since I did get continuous series in December. So we'll play that again so that one doesn't show up. I do want some little bit of differences from December, but the rest of the year it should go with no problems. 16. Seasonal vibe. Okay, we're going to hide that. $65. A retelling. Okay. So far this is pretty good. $50. A dragon. Ooh, I just got some new books. That'll be perfect. $62. Single point of view. Okay, and last but not least, let's see what we got. $99. Oops. Name in the title. Okay. So, my TBR takes place at sea, purple cover, someone else's TBR, horror, seasonal vibe, retelling, dragon, single POV, and a name in the title. That should be an interesting one. Now, back to future me. Back to present me. How did you do on your reading goals for the year 2022? Were you successful? Do you have any suggestions for my TBR for January? Put it in the comments below. I'm curious of what you think. So until next time, I hope everybody is having a wonderful